Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to build a responsive portfolio web page with HTML, CSS and JavaScript. This tutorial is packed with insight and tips to create a stunning website that showcase your work and skills. We will cover several key sections. We will start by creating a header that includes a logo, navigation links with the different sections, home, about, portfolio and contact, and hamburger menu for a smaller screen. Next, we will design a hero section that immediately catch your visitors' attention. It will feature welcoming message, a brief introduction, and call to action button like explore and download CV image on the right. In the about section, this section will include your image and description of who you are and any other personal highlights, skills you want to show. And the next we have a portfolio where show your work. We will create filterable gallery that categorize your project into different areas, such as design. You make a design section and you make a development section. Finally, we will build a contact section where visitors can reach out to you. This will include social media links, contact form, direct messaging, and your contact information, making easy to be contacted. And then last, we will add footer at the bottom. And in that, we will add some animation that will make slide in and slide out. So if you are new here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell to get notified. Here I have 3 empty files. I have HTML, CSS, JavaScript file. Let's start by building our first boilerplate of our HTML, and press enter. You have the boilerplate of HTML, and now quickly change the title, and this is a title that will be shown on the browser. Here let's link our CSS. 2 links here, Font Awesome and Google Font. Now let's go to the body and fill our content. So we have header, and in the header we have a logo. Let's add name of the logo, and in the header we have navigation links. Let's call it nav. For the nav links, we can use a shortcut that will help us to save a lot of time, and we start by unordered list. ID call it nav links, and I want to have a list. I want to have 4 links, and we multiply by 4. We want to have links. So when we press tab, we have 4 links here. One is, let's call it home, about, portfolio, and contact. We move to main and below the header and add main here. And in the main, I want section. And in the section, I want to have a class, call it full section. And add ID, call it home. To add hero text, this is the intro text. Give it H2, which is heading of hero section. To add a paragraph here, and I want to add 10 word. Let's add button here and give it a class, call it button. Add 2 button here, one for explore and one for download CV. Next, welcome image. We will add the image later here. Now let's create a new section here. And this section to have a same class, but let's call it about here. New ID, top content. Also add image. let's call it, about text. And in about text, I want to add heading for about section, about me, and add paragraph here. Let's call this, create a new class called about bottom content, and add paragraph as well in the class. Now let's create a new section with the same class for portfolio with a different ID, and it is about portfolio. In portfolio we have different filter category. We need to add 3 buttons first. Add heading h2, which is portfolio. So here we need to have a class called a service filter. Here we need to have a 3 button. For each button we need to add a title and filterable gallery. So we need to add, first one is all services, design and development. Filterable gallery for each one, let's say data filter, and it is about all services for design and development. Now we need to add each item, for it is image, title and paragraph. So let's create class called service item, and this is the main container for all the services, and this class is for each service including image, heading and paragraph. The service item, and this is for graphic design, and add image here. We will add it later. About, let's call it, this is for graphic design, which is h3, call it graphic design. And add paragraph. Now we need to add all of them for graphic design, for UI UX design, web development, mobile development in this section. Now I added for graphic design, UX design, the web development, and the last one is mobile development. The last section, which is contact, and in that we need to add, now in here I need to add h2, which is contact us, add just intro text. Now let's add for social media here, let's call it, and in the social media I want to add some links. You can add as many as you want, and these 4 links I want to add all of them. I want to add target blank, and let's here add from font awesome here, and let's go to icon and choose the icon that you want here. Let's say add YouTube, and you just choose, you copy here by pressing it, and by pressing here you just add it here, paste it, save it here, and you see here we have YouTube here, the social media icon. Be the same way we need to add all the icons. Let's add, when you save it, you should have the links that you added here below in the bottom. Let's go below here and add the contact form, which is contact container. We will add, and in contact container we let's add a class called contact method, and in here let's add another class called contact method, and add a link here, and this link is for an icon. So the same, you can add it from font awesome that we saw it. Title here, call us, and add some text, and let's add some phone numbers here as example that you want to be called. You can add fax, telephone, phone, fax. And now the last thing is we need to add contact form. Let's say contact form, and in the contact form I want to add h3, which is send us a form I want to have input here, and we need to add for text area. And the last is button, so let's add button, and this to type submit, and add class called btn. The last thing we want to add is a footer. Now this is all we need. Before that, let's add JavaScript here. That's all we need here. Let's go to CSS to style our page. Before we start styling, let's add the image that we want to include in our design. So this is our main folder. Let's add it here. So as soon as I add my images here, it appears on my work environment. So now in our style here, let's import Google font here and start by adjusting the default setting. So let's add margin 0, padding 0 as well. Let's say box sizing to ensure element fit within a specified dimension. Add font, which is from Google font. So let's say Rubik and sans serif. HTML, and I want this scroll behavior, which is to have it smooth while we are moving from page to page. And I want to add background color for all page, which is color code EFF0F3. And let's go to the body here, and for the body I want line height to have 1.3, font size to be 16 pixels. Now let's design header section, and for the header let's say display flex, justify content, let's say space between, line item, let's call it center, and add background, which color code is 001524. Let's say color, and add this color code FFECD1. Let's add padding 0 here, text align center, text transform to have uppercase, border at the bottom of the header 3 pixel, solid, and color to have FF7D00. Position of the header to be fixed while I'm moving from page to page, width to have 100%. Top 0 to have left 0 as well. To show above other content, so let's say the index added 1000. For the logo here, header H, so say margin 0. To have different colors for the header here, we can do, we call it logo here. Add a span between letters that you want to color it. Here, do the same also for W here. Now let's go to CSS, and here we need to target header H1, and we call it a span. And for this, so just give it a color, which is, now we're done logo, nav, unordered list. And for this, let's say display flex, and let's say grid template column. Repeat. This function convenience way to define multiple columns and rows here. So when we say out of it here, dynamically adjust the number of column based on the container width. We have two arguments here. We have min max 100 pixel, mean each column will have minimum width of 100 pixel, and one fraction, and distribute the container remaining space after fixed size. Let's say gap, let's give it 20 pixel, and let's say padding 0, margin, give it to 10 pixel, and list style, add it none, and justify content to be center. And for the list here, we want text align only center. For the links here, let's give it a color. Give same color as the logo, and to remove the underline, say text decoration none, and let's say display block. And add hover effect for nav links. For the hover effect, I want color to be orange. Let's add main, add padding 10 pixel, and let's go to section, scroll, margin top. This is to ensure that when we moving from page to page, to have a full page and all the content appear from top. Now we have home, and for main we took the section, and now we need to target. The first one is home here, ID. And for the home, I want display grid, and grid template columns, I want it to have 2 equal size, 1 fraction and 1 fraction. Say align item center, say gap, give it to 20 pixel, and padding also 20 pixel. Now let's target full page section class, and for that say mean height 100, viewport, display flex, justify content to be center, align item center as well, and add padding 10 pixel, and box sizing, so I'll say border box. Now let's go and add the image here, and we have welcome image here. Let's say let's style the image, welcome image, img, and for this say width 100%, and add border radius. For border radius, let's target horizontal radius first, 0% top left corner, and 100% top right corner, and 70% bottom right corner, and we have bottom left corner, let's say 30%. And this is separated by a slash, and this is vertical radius, so the top left corner 75%, and top right corner 31%, and bottom right corner to have 69%, and bottom left corner to have 43%. Let's give it to box shadows in order to be seen. 10 pixel, 10 pixel, 20 pixel, and 2 pixel, and the color to have FF0. This is the final version of this border radius. So let's give a different background color. So let's say background, and the color to have 8AB0B6. This is not home AR, this is home. Well, now let's target hero section, and for the image now let's add some animation transition, and for the transition let's say transform 0.5 second, ease in and out, and add box shadow here to have as well 0.5 as ease in and out. You see this effect. Let's say transform, scale to 1, then add hover here, and this we call it transform as well, scale to 1.1. Now let's add a box shadow here, 0, 4 pixel, 8 pixel, and color to have, let's change this to 20 pixel. Now let's target text here. Hero font weight to have 500. Hero text paragraph. Font size to have 2 rem. And H2 here to have larger. So let's say font size to have 3, and I want this to have a different color. As we did with the spam, we could just come here, spam, and move this here. And let's go back to style, and this is color, and to have this one. Target button, and the button to have margin top 10 pixel, and say display flex, and add a gap between this button, say 20 pixel. And let's target the class btn, and in that we need to have background color to have ff, padding to have 10 from top and bottom, and 10 from left and right. So text decoration, take the underline, so text decoration, let's say none. Say color and font size to make it 1.3 rem. To make rounded corners, so we add border radius, let's say 20 pixel. Add hover effect for that, so let's say btn, and hover, background to have a different color. This color code, which is ff ecd1, color to be 001524. To slide in from left or right, we can add, let's go back to image and hero text, welcome image. Here we need to add animation, and this animation to have a 2 second, ease out 0, so 1, and we want this to slide in from right. And just go right below the image and add keyframe, and we need to just copy this text from here, copy, paste it, and in here we need to specify from the transform. So let's say 0%, and this 0% to transform, and this translate, let's say x-axis, so on 100%. And the second one is 100%, and this also to transform, translate x-axis the same, and in that we need to have a 0. Now, and the same we can do it for the text here, to slide from, as image slide from right, so we need to text to slide from left. Let's come here, and for that we just add one thing, left keyframe. Keyframes, and we need to, let's say 0%, and in this case we need to translate x-axis, but different direction, and we need to add this text here, and this one transform, translate x, and this is to be -100 in order to slide in from left. The second one is 100%, transform, and translate x 0. Now we are done with the main page, so let's add background for hero section. dot hero. This pseudo element is used to insert content before the content of selected element, and this pseudo element work with the content property. Blank here, position to be absolute, insert to be 0, and background. We need to add background color, which is 15616D dot hero, in order to show the text. So let's say position relative z index to show above other content, so let's say 1. And we can add as well text shadow for both, let's say, and we need to have a text shadow, and we can add 2 pixel, 2 pixel, 2 pixel, and the color to have 7880. Now we are done with hero section. Let's move to about and style about section. For about section here, let's add our image, and it is here. So let's call it and paste, save it. And now this is our image. Let's go to our CSS and add, it is ID, let's call it about, and for this say display flex direction to have a column, justify content to be center, them as well to be center, margin auto, and add padding as well to be 20 pixel, max width 1200 pixel. Let's target the image, so we call it about image, and for the image let's say flex 1, so let's say hide auto, add box shadow here. For the box shadow I want to add 10 pixel, 0, 8 pixel, and 10 pixel from each side, and the color to have 15616D, and let's say border radius, and here I want to have 36%, 64%, 82%, 18%, slash 61%, 48%, 52%, 39%. Now let's go back to HTML to fix here. Call it about image, and maximum width is to have 50%. So at margin right 20 pixel. Next we style the two paragraph, and in that we call it about text. For this, so say flex 1 and at max width 50% as well. Align self, flex start, text align to be start. Let's add padding 10 pixel. Now we need to target this class, which is about top content, and here we need to say display flex in order to play image and text, you know, side by side. So let's say flex direction to be row, so let's say with 100%, align item, flex start. For about text here, let's add margin, so let's say margin here 50 from top and bottom and 10 from left and right. About bottom text, so bottom content, and for the bottom content, so let's say width 100%, the top to be 30 pixel, text align start. Let's add heading to the bottom content, h3, and get say our goal here, say about text, about here h2, and h3 to style the boss text header, text align to say center, and add different color, which is 78290F. Text transform, make it uppercase. Now we are done with the home page. About, let's change color of hero text. For that, let's change it into home page. About, let's go to portfolio, and for that we just target the ID first. Let's start by flex property, display flex, and flex direction to be column, align item center, and text align as well to be center. Portfolio header, so let's give it H2. At font size, let's say 2 rem, and margin bottom to be 0. Add a different color to portfolio heading. Now we need to target these service filters. It is class, so service. For that also we display flex and justify content to be center. Flex wrap, and let's say wrap. Also margin bottom to be 20 pixel and font size to be 2 rem. Now let's target a silver button, and let's add background to be transparent. Let's add border, and border to have 2 pixel, solid, and color to have orange. Let's say padding to 6 from top and bottom, and 6 from left and right. Add margin to make a space between them, so 5 pixel. Add cursor to be pointer. Transition, let's say all 0.5 second. Ease. Add larger font size, 1.3 rem, and color. And let's add hover effect. And for the hover effect, I want background to be different color, which is 1561.6 color as well. ECD here. Hover. Now we're done with the service filter. Let's go to service item. We have service items and service items. So service item, let's display grid. And grid template column here, I want, repeat 3 to be 3 by 1 fractions to have a 3 equal size. Align item to be center, gap 10 pixel. And now for service item, and this is to have background to have FF ECT1. Let's say border to have 1 pixel, solid, and color to have 1561.6D. Padding added 10 pixel, and add border radius to be 10 pixel as well. Rounded corners and box shadow to have 0, 2 pixel, 6 pixel, and the color to have same as border, and text align to be center. And add a transition here, and just to transform 0.5 second. Ease in and out. Now let's target the image, and let's call it service item, and we have image here. Add width here like 200 pixel. Let's add height to have 160. Now they have the same size, so let's say margin bottom to have 15 pixel. Now let's target the text that inside the boxes. Service item, paragraph, and its P. Text align start and color to have. And for heading color, this is to have, and font size to be larger, to be 1.4. Now let's add hover effect for service item. Scale 1.05. Now we're done with the portfolio. So now we need to target contact section. ID called contact. And this is the heading of contact form. Let's give it a color to be green, and margin bottom to have 0.5 rem. Target contact container, and for the contact container, say display flex wrap, say wrap, and align item to start, and width to have 100%. Add a gap here to have like 20 pixels. Now let's target the contact method. So let's say flex 1 and add padding 20 pixel is 0, 2 pixel, 5 pixel, and the color is and for contact method we need to display flex direction to be column, align item to be center, text align to be center as well. To have flex 1 approximately 45%, add padding here like 10 pixel, and add border radius to have 10 pixel as well. We have a full section for contact here. This is called display flex direction to be column, padding to have 50 pixel from top and bottom, and 20 from right and left. Let's say align item center, and we have dot contact method dot first solid, and this is this icon. We need to change the color and size. Say display inline block, font size 2 rem, and color to be orange, and add margin to be 20 pixel. Now we have contact form, and for the contact form, let's say flex 1 and add padding to be 20 pixel, and we have contact form, and we have a dot button. This button to have a cursor to be pointer, and let's say border none. And for the hover, need to add background to have a different color, and color to be contact form. Before that, we need to display flex and flex direction to be column, start to be column, and let's add dot contact form for the input here, and for the text area as well. And for that, let's say padding 10 pixel, and margin bottom to be 1 rem only. So now for the contact number, give larger font size, margin give it 0.6, and display block. Now let's target social media, and for the social media we have let's say text align center, margin say 20 pixel, the background transparent background, and for the links here at margin, so spacing between the icons say 0 from top and bottom and 10 from right and left, and say color inherit default color, and font size to make it bigger, so let's say 30 pixel, and let's set transition transform 0.3 second ease, and color as well 0.3 second ease. Social media, and here we need to target the class of each of these links. Like here, these classes we have to target each of these. Like for the first one is for YouTube, and this to have color to have red, which is color code FF000. Now we have YouTube is red, so we need to do it the same way for the rest of the colors. For the form here, let's add one thing, dot contact form, and let's call it form, and for that let's say display flex and flex direction column to make these two boxes equal. Let's add one thing here and require it email as well. This will give you alert when you want to submit without writing the needed information. Now we have home section, about section, portfolio section, and contact form section. And the last part is the footer. So for the footer, let's say display flex, so background color to have the same as the header color, to have say font size, say larger, text align center, justify content to be center as well, align item to be center. Let's add padding 20 from 20 pixel from top and bottom, and 0 from left. And as you see, this page is not responsive. We need to use media query in order to make it responsive. We need to add hamburger button here for a small screen, and let's style hamburger button. So go just above the footer and target let's hamburger menu, And for that, let's say display none, and color to be, let it to be seen while we are styling. So font size to be 2 rem, cursor to be pointer, position to be absolute, top to be 20 pixel, and right to be 30 pixel, z index to be seen above as a content. Let's say border none, background as well to be, and now let's display none to show only on the smaller screen. Now we need to add media query and define the size of screen. For the media query, make it max width, and this is for smaller screen, so 786 pixel, 68 pixel, and let's start by hamburger menu. And for this, display block, and say font size to be 2 rem, font weight to be 800, and top to be 0, and color to be FFECD1. Let's go to nav, unordered list, and for that say display none, flex direction to be column, and width to be 100%, position to be absolute, top to be 30 pixel, left to be 0, and background the same color as header, padding to have 10, and margin to have 10 from top and bottom and 0 from left and right, and font size to be 20. Now let's target the list, and that is nav ul li, and for that text align center, and width to be 100%, and padding to have 4 pixel. Target the links here, and for that let's say padding 8 pixel, and let's target the hero section. For the h2 size to be a bit smaller, which is font size to be a bit smaller as well, font size 16 pixel, which is approximately smaller than the size. And let's target the btn, which is button, and for the button font size to be 13 pixel, which is smaller than the text itself, at padding at 8 pixel. And now for the nav, unordered list dot active, for that let's say display flex with the main. So let's go to home, and it is ID. So for the home, let's specify how we want to display. So grid template column here, add 1 fraction, and grid template rows to have auto, also 1 fraction. Now justify content to be center, and align item to be center as well. Now let's target the image because it is too big, so let's say welcome image. And for the welcome image, we want image to show on the top of the text, above the text, so we say order -1, and in that case the text below the image. And let's add padding, give it 10 pixel, and let's target welcome image. To change the image size, we say width, max width, let's say 50%, margin top 60 pixels. Let's target about image, So width 80%, margin bottom to be 20 pixel, and let's set about content here, about top content, say flex direction to be column, align item to be center. Okay, justify content to be center as well, and margin top to be 10 pixel. So for about text, for these two texts, so let's say about text and about bottom content, max width to be 100%. Let's add box shadow 0, 2 pixel, 4 pixel, 1, 5, 6, 1, 6D. Add padding, let's say 10 pixel. Add background color, which is FF, and add border radius as well to be 20 pixel. And now let's target the service items. And for the service items, we can display grid as well, template columns, to repeat, and this is autofill. For that, min max 200 pixel, and rest one fraction. So let's go to JavaScript, do the rest of the job. This line add an event listener to the document that wait for the DOM content loaded event. This declare the function name toggle menu. This function is used to open or close the navigation menu. And var links get the element with ID nav links, which we confine it here on the nav links. And this class list is used to show or hide nav links. This line select the first element with the class hamburger menu, usually button used to open and close the mobile navigation menu, and this make the navigation menu toggle when the hamburger menu being clicked. And this function declare a function named filter services that takes a parameter filter class. This function is designed to filter service items based on the class passed to it. And here we are passing class name as service item. This represents the individual services that can be filtered. This iterate over each service item element. For each one, the function check if it should be displayed based on filtering criteria. Inside the for each loop, if the filter class is star, indicating no filter, or show all, if the current item contains the class specified by filter class, the item display style is set to block, making it visible. Otherwise, the item display style is set to none, hiding it. And this iterate over each filter button. For each button, an event listener is added that when clicked, retrieve the filter class from the button data filter attribute, remove the leading period, assuming it is meant to signify a class, and call the filter services function with the filtered class as an argument. This step allows filtering the display service item based on the selected criteria. Now when you're choosing, it will display only the chosen class filter. And that's all for today. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you found this tutorial helpful, please give it a thumb up. And if you want to see more content like this, consider subscribing to my channel. Until next, happy coding.